So today we are going to be start our workshop on quality assurance. Actually, this workshop series we conducting under the Center for Quality Assurance of the University of Rouen. We have a monthly regular series of workshops. Therefore, in this month, we are going to be a workshop on the quality productivity improve the productivity through the waste elimination. Therefore, based on the suggestion of our Quality Assurance Director, Professor Mahinda Atapattu, we had a training schedule. Accordingly, today we are going to be conduct this workshop on this how to improve the productivity. Therefore, we would like to thanks uh, Sri Lanka Association of Advancements of Science. In this time, they agreed to make some collaboration on this matter, and therefore the Center for Popularization of Science of the Sri Lanka Association for Advancement of Science uh, had organized and sponsored this workshop to the University of Rouen. Actually, earlier we had a plan to this workshop on physically at our university premises, but based on this current condition, we now ready to conduct this workshop in virtual mode. But in based on this initial workshop, we can have several workshop on this matter in later stage at the physically. Uh, So today, I would like to introduce our resource person. Resource person is uh, Dr. Samadhi Vitanage. He is a well expert in this field. Actually, he has a Bachelor of Engineering honors degree in the UK, and he has a PhD in electrical engineering in year 2002. Also, it is from the British University, uh, and he has a vast area of knowledge, experience, and skill regarding the improvement of productivity through productivity. Uh, he has worked. He has a training from the Sri Lanka Standards Institute, as well as he has worked on Six Sigma US, as well as Bendix Institute, Tokyo Production System, and Learn Manufacturing Training. Uh, Based on actually Sri Lanka Association, Sri Lanka Association of Advancement Science recognize Dr. Samadhi Itanege. He is a key and very suitable person for conducting this workshop. Therefore, based on his international experience and training, as well as his experience to conducting training program and seminars for the private sector institute in Sri Lanka, which will be a very benefit to gain some knowledge to our university system. Therefore, our Vice Chancellor sir uh, want to given that kind of experience to the all staff, the academic staff, as well as our executive administrative staff, as well as other staffs, to how to improve the uh, productivity in recognized as in what practice in the private sector, that we need to adapt in our university system in some extent, not entirely, some extent we need to be uh, make a practice. Therefore, I not get much time to. Then we can later on discuss. Even we can singular medium also we can use in later stage. Therefore, I cordially invite Dr. Samadhi Vitanage to start this workshop. Thank you.
Detailed introduction given about me. Good morning, everyone. Before I get into the subject matter we are going to discuss in today's webinar, First, I would like to thank Professor Hema Kumara of Ruhuna University and Mr. Priyantha Vikramaratne of Sri Lanka Institute of Architects for inviting me to conduct this webinar for the members of University of Ruhuna. The topic which we are going to discuss in today's webinar is improve productivity through waste elimination. Actually, productivity has been one of the commonly discussed and sought after topics across the globe for many years. Productivity and quality together have been key concerns for organizations looking for cost optimizations, improved customer satisfaction, and greater competitiveness in the market. Today in this webinar, we'll try to explore the topic with a different perspective by looking at what productivity is, what elements contribute for productivity, and what systematic approaches are available for productivity improvement and their end use or the application. Finally, through the webinar, we aim to give an insight on how productivity can be improved in a structured, scientific manner, and how these methodologies and techniques that are available can be deployed in an effective manner for the development of organizations and their business processes. Now we'll go into a bit of fundamentals of productivity. So what is this productivity? Productivity in simple terms is effectiveness of productive effort, and it looks at the efficiency of production of goods or services. This is measured, in theory, this is measured as the output per unit of input. Typically, inputs can be labor, capital, and equipment. And in addition to this, there can be other inputs as well. And also, the productivity is measured over a specific period of time. Example scenarios for productivity could be when we consider manufacturing stream. Productivity of a factory would be how much goods are produced for a specific effort and for a specific time period. When we look at or when we consider services stream, service provider would measure productivity as to how much revenue each worker generates. So these are typical example scenarios for manufacturing and services streams. In overall, productivity aims at maximum utilization of resources for yielding goods or services as much as possible for organizations and for customers. Now, having explained the fundamentals of productivity, now we'll look at the common causes of productivity that we come across with organizations. Typically, in organizations, we often come across lack of skills and training, poor commitment, concentration and attitude, lack of teamwork and coordination, ineffective organizational structure, management and supervision, poor communication, poor consistency, lack of delegation, and poor recognition, poor well-being, lack of tools, technologies, and systems. Finally, unfavorable work environments as well. And this list continues. The list would go on. But if you look at these common causes, would addressing and solving these in individualized basis or in a localized basis, bring in real sustainable productivity improvements for organizations? The answer I can give you is no. You will understand later in this presentation as to why I say no to that. You need, instead of addressing and solving these common causes of low productivity, you need more of a structured, integrated approach to improve productivity. That's what we are going to mainly look at in this webinar and in this presentation. Now we'll look at what waste has to do with productivity, the term productivity. In any operation, inputs are transformed into outputs, generating value for a product or a service to the end customer. As you can see on the diagram I have given on the slide, inputs in terms of resources are fed into a manufacturing process. Here we are looking at a manufacturing process. And then we get output in terms of products. So within this transformation process, value addition happens. Now, simultaneously with this value addition, waste also gets generated, and that feeds into the value addition. Now, what happens when waste goes up, when the waste increases? Increase in waste results in decrease in value creation, and the decrease in value creation results in decrease in effective output, and the decrease in output results in decrease in productivity, and with the decrease in value, output, and productivity as a whole would result in increase in overall cost for organizations. So with that, we can say that the waste becomes the key dragging force and the single greatest barrier that directly affects productivity. Now, this is equally applicable for our personal lives as well, not just for organizations. Now, what is waste? Waste is anything that does not create or add value to the customer. Value is what customers are willing to pay for, or what is expected by the customer. Waste is a hidden silent killer that exists with everything we deal within our life, and that's what eats into the value creation. So with this waste and value terms, what is the scientific, structured, and a sustainable way to eliminate waste and improve productivity? That we call the continuous improvement approach. In overall, waste elimination through continuous improvement approach brings sustainable productivity improvement over solving common causes of low productivity we looked at earlier. This continuous improvement approach, sometimes we call it as continual improvement as well. And it is iterative, continuous efforts to improve products, services, and processes for organizations and to the end customer. Typically, we have three key methodologies we deploy for continuous improvement of business processes. Namely, those are Kaizen, Lean, and Six Sigma. Each of these methodologies or the philosophies have their own use and application. By targeted use of these methodologies, waste can be continually reduced over time. And elimination of waste results in sustainable productivity and efficiency improvements, along with significant cost optimizations to organizations, and finally to the end customer as well. So this is the structured and the scientific or the integrated approach we propose to address low productivity and to improve productivity in organizations. Now, having gone through productivity and the structured method, structured scientific method that exists for attacking productivity or improving productivity, I will go through a classic scenario where productivity in real life. Auto manufacturing giant Toyota is a prime example of high-end productivity in real life. After the World War II, when they began, when they improved their manufacturing sector, Toyota grew to become the largest and most productive car manufacturer in the world, starting from their very humble beginnings. Toyota production system, in short we call as TPS, is the driving force behind this achievement. And this Toyota production system, TPS, is mainly built on three key principles. The first principle is environment of constant learning and improvement. Second is standardization of processes, systems for consistent quality. And the third is elimination of waste. So with this, they look at productivity improvement, waste elimination, cost optimizations, efficiency improvement, and a philosophy that the entire organization runs through. However, during the period from 2009 to 2011, Toyota had to recall 9 million cars worldwide due to federal entrapment and accelerator issues, which resulted in disastrous incidents all over the world. Thorough investigations into the matter discovered that deviations from its from their foundational TPS philosophy is the primary reason why this incident occurred. With these learnings, what they thereafter did was the Toyota and their management started to refocus on its foundational TPS philosophy again to regain their image and to improve their business operations, improve quality, improve productivity, improve efficiencies, and so on. And so on. Now, now we'll look at under the continuous improvement approach. I propose as the scientific and structured way of improving or bringing in sustainable productivity improvement. We'll look at the Kaizen methodology first. That in little bit in detail for you to understand what this methodology is. We look at the word Kaizen. Kai represents the change. The Sen means good. So this Kaizen term, Kaizen word, it's a Japanese word, and it represents good change. Change for the better with continuous improvement approach. In this Kaizen philosophy or the methodology, this Kaizen occurs in small incremental changes, and it focuses on small quick fixes and changes, and this looks at long-term success for organizations. And this Kaizen methodology at the end contributes to elimination of waste and continual improvement or continuous improvement for organizations. And that helps organizations to improve productivity in a sustainable manner. This Kaizen approach, Kaizen means rapid improvements that happen in a particular work cell or workstation or small process or factory location or in an office area. Improvements happen in complex cross-functional level or systematic problems where projects or Six Sigma deployments are required are not considered as Kaizen. Kaizen initiatives are, Kaizen deployments are small initiatives where we look at quick fixes to problems in organizations. This Kaizen methodology is built on mainly three pillars called Gemba, Muda, and standardized change. Gemba and Muda are Japanese terms. Gemba is a Japanese term for workplace, and it focuses on ensuring you and your team have the right tools to work effectively and without clutter. The term Muda is a Japanese term for waste, focusing on elimination of rework, delays, process bottlenecks, double handling, and more of other waste elements. The third pillar, that is standardized change, it works according to a cycle called plan, do, check, act cycle. We call it as Deming's PDCA cycle. This is used for various methodologies also, not just Kaizen. It's used for lean methodology as well. And if you look at ISO certification, for ISO certification also this PDCA cycle is fully utilized. This was first introduced by Edward Deming with his involvement with Japanese manufacturing sector after the World War II era, when they began full-scale manufacturing in Japan. In this standardized change, it looks at quick iterative sprints that drive changes fast. Organizations that are on the uh, path of Kaizen journey typically targets to eliminate non-value adding activities and increase productivity and output, reduce inventory, reduce cycle time, reduce space, improve on-time delivery, improve product and service quality, improve housekeeping, 5S and visual management, reduce downtime for operations, reduce transportation time and distances, and establish standardized processes. And with this, reduction of overall operating costs. Now, one more thing about this, the three key methodologies I mentioned, those are Kaizen, Lean, and Six Sigma methodologies. In addition to these methodologies, there are other concepts called 5S, TPS, TQM that support these three key methodologies that exist for continuous improvement. So, in this Kaizen methodology, as you can see, it mainly looks at waste elimination. And this through waste elimination, we aim to achieve sustainable productivity improvements. Now we'll go into the methodology Lean. Lean is a way of life and is about understanding what is important to the customer and that maximizes value while minimizing waste. Lean methodology therefore focuses primarily on eliminating waste in processes to increase value for organizations and finally to the customer. Lean is applicable to every business and every process. Although there is a popular misconception that lean is suited only for manufacturing, it is not true. Lean is applicable equally for manufacturing and service streams and sectors. Lean transformation is often used, the term lean transformation is often used to characterize an organization moving from an old way of thinking or working to lean thinking or culture in order to change the way the business operations are conducted. So that's what's called the lean transformation. Similar to the Kaizen methodology, lean methodology is also built on 5 key principles. These principles are considered as the recipe for improving workplace efficiency and productivity. This is done through mainly waste elimination. So the 5 principles that we look at under lean methodology are: first one is defining value, second one is mapping value stream. Value stream means what helps a business, a particular business and their operation to deliver value to the end customer. Third principle is creating flow, creating even flow to deliver value to the customer. Fourth one is establishing full concept. And the fifth and the last is pursuing perfection. So reviewing what has been done on principles 1 to 4 and going for perfection. That happens in the fifth principle. These are called as phases of lean also. As I mentioned earlier, lean specifically looks at how to increase value by eliminating waste existing business operations. To increase value, it mainly looks at identifying value adding and non-value adding activities existing operations and processes in an organization. Value adding activities are activities that transform or shape product or information to meet end customer requirements and what they are willing to pay for. This value addition is always determined from the customer's perspective. So it's an agreement that happens between the customer and the supplier. Non-value adding activities are activities that take time, resources, or space but do not add value to the product or service supplied to the end customer. And these are called as or considered as waste. So this is the starting point in the lean methodology. First, it identifies value adding activities and non-value adding activities involved in operations and processes. Lean also, within this lean methodology, it looks at 7 types of waste. The first one is called overproduction. Second one is inventory. Overproduction leads to inventory buildup, and we call it excess inventory. And then the third one is transportation. Fourth is excess motion. Fifth is waiting time. Sixth one is over processing. Seventh waste is defects that leads to rework. Now we'll go into little bit detail about these 7 types of waste. First one is overproduction. Overproduction produces items sooner or in greater quantities than required for customer demand or what is expected by the customer. Poor planning, incorrect bottleneck assumptions are the key causes behind overproduction. This overproduction disrupts smooth flow of goods production or services generation in businesses. It leads to excessive work in progress or, at the end, excessive finished goods inventory. Now, triggering from the overproduction, the second one is excess inventory. Excess inventory is any raw material, work in progress, in short we call it as WIP, or finished goods maintained in excess quantities are considered as excess inventory. Overproduction causes inventory buildup between processes, together with improper leveling between various processes exist in a business. So both overproduction and improper leveling are the key causes behind excess inventory buildup. Excess inventory increases cost for organizations. It requires additional space. It triggers and hides defects also. Third one is transportation. We don't say that transportation is not required. When it happens in excessive manner without adding value to the customer or to the business, then it becomes a waste. So excess transportation is considered as a waste. So this excess transportation is unnecessary movement of items between processes. With the pictorial illustration I have given here on the slide also, you can see how these unnecessary movement of items happen between processes. Poor layout and no process design and planning, unstructured or improperly understood value stream, and complex material flows are the main causes behind this excess transportation. Excess transportation at the end increases lead time for business processes and to the end customer, and it increases overall cost, and it increases defects due to accidents also. Next one is motion. Motion means unnecessary movements within the process. So within the process, there can be various operations happening. And if certain operations that happen within a particular process are not required essentially, are not adding value to the customer, those are considered as waste. Under this motion, poor workplace layout, poor process planning, poor housekeeping, and unavailability of standard operating procedures are the main causes behind excess motion. Motion increases lead time, increases cost, and it leads to safety issues. Next one is waiting or waiting time. People or parts that are waiting for a work cycle to be completed are considered as waiting. Unreliable supply chain, bottlenecks, and downtime are the main causes behind this waste of waiting. Waiting increases again lead time, it causes bottlenecks, and at the end it increases cost for organizations. Then we have over processing. Processing beyond the value required by the customer is considered as over processing. So we have to always ensure processing of a particular product or a service happens according to what is required by the customer. Anything beyond that is considered as waste. Lack of customer focus, perceptions, various perceptions and beliefs such as always done it this way, lack of understanding of what is required by the customer, and scheduled work time longer than needed are the main causes behind this over processing. Over processing again increases cost and increases lead time. The final one is called defects. Defects are products or services that fail to meet specifications agreed by the customer and have become unusable or require work. Those are considered as defects. Process variations, customer requirements not properly understood are mainly considered as defects. Defects increase time and cost, and at the end, it affects customer satisfaction and confidence. So those are the 7 ways that we come across under the lean methodology, and that affects uh, waste generation, and with that waste generation, that brings down the productivity. So now you can see the relationship between waste and productivity. With the increase in waste, what we get to see is decline in productivity. So if we want to increase productivity in a sustainable manner, we have to look at these waste and eliminate them in a structured manner. Then only we can go for sustainable productivity improvements. The third methodology or the philosophy under the continuous improvement approach is called Six Sigma. Six Sigma is a structured, statistical, data-driven approach for eliminating defects and reducing process variations in business processes. This Six Sigma methodology or the philosophy, the company called Motorola in USA, brought Six Sigma into the mainstream in 1980s in order to achieve consistent quality in the company's products. This provides organizations a systematic way to improve capability of their business processes by bringing operations to a Six Sigma level. We call the Six Sigma level as 3.4 defects for 1 million opportunities. So that's the level of target we look at to achieve under Six Sigma methodology. It's rather than the Kaizen and Lean methodologies or the philosophy, Six Sigma philosophy is little bit different. It mainly looks at reducing defects and reducing process variation, and through that we can look at the end productivity improvements also. Under this Six Sigma methodology, this Six Sigma results in improved process performance, bring in profits, and improve employee morale and quality of products or services. With these improvements, we can bring in again sustainable quality productivity improvements to organizations. So in this Six Sigma approach, it is a data-driven improvement cycle that we look at in the under the Six Sigma approach. That data-driven cycle, we call it as DMAIC approach, and it is used for improving, optimizing, and stabilizing business processes. This DMAIC cycle, it stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. This cycle of DMAIC, we sometimes call it as the 5 phases that we take the journey of Six Sigma when it comes to continuous improvement. So we go through these 5 phases in that Six Sigma journey. We first start from the first phase, that's called the define phase. And then we go into measure phase, analyze, improve, finally, and controlling of future uh, process performance by bringing in controls to business processes. So having explained, having gone into details about the three key methodologies or philosophies that we typically deploy under approach, continuous improvement approach, in order to improve productivity, reduce or eliminate waste, improve efficiencies, uh, improve cost optimizations for organizations. Now I have a small video that would further improve your knowledge as to how we could effectively deploy continuous improvement uh, approaches for various businesses and for various industries.
Visitors to factories in Japan often remark how carefully and neatly the tools and working materials are arranged. This is actually the key to efficiency. When tools are laid out clearly and conveniently, no work time is wasted looking for them. And logical pre-positioning of materials reduces time spent transporting them to workspaces, lessening the danger of collisions en route. Such techniques for improving work efficiency and safety are known as kaizen, a Japanese word that simply means to do something better. Our workers on the shop floor are always thinking of ways to improve the workflow, revising procedures so they take 2 steps instead of 3, or need 5 seconds instead of 10. Many tiny improvements add up to give a big result. That's kaizen. The idea of kaizen began in automobile plants about 70 years ago. Workers sharing their knowledge to revise and improve work procedures made a great contribution during the years of Japan's rapid economic growth, and the kaizen philosophy is still firmly embedded in Japanese industry. Let's look at how kaizen works in this sandwich factory, which has a mostly female workforce. Their old way of doing it was for each worker to handle a single process as the materials moved past them on the line. But one process, cutting the bread, always took more time and interrupted the flow, keeping the next worker waiting. We'd been doing it that way for years and never saw it was a problem. Once they realized the weakness in their system, they decided to change from a linear flow to one where small groups of workers each complete batches of sandwiches. After rearranging workbenches and assigning multiple processes to each worker, the time required fell sharply and productivity went up. Now we rarely have to stand about waiting for materials. It's really improved the job. This factory employs a large number of workers with disabilities. The Kaizen approach paid off here too. A major goal of our Kaizen effort was to make it easier and more comfortable for the workers to do their jobs. Trash receptacles were redesigned for easy transportation. And various assistive devices allow people with visual impairments to operate equipment. This worker devised the Kaizen idea of stabilizing hanging screwdrivers with flexible cords. His improvement reduces wasteful movement, and since the drivers are used thousands of times a day, saves as much as 200 minutes of work time a month. It really feels like you've accomplished something when you come up with a new technique like this. We all enjoy thinking and working together to make our job better. Spares and supplies are arranged for easy handling by the visually challenged. For example, these tapes are arranged by type, and large paper discs indicate by touch when only one is left. And the disc's bright printed design delivers the information clearly to sighted people too. Car jacks allow work tables to be raised and lowered to match the height of each wheelchair. This idea was so helpful, jacks have been fitted to all the work tables. Ideas intended to make things easier for people with disabilities often simplify everyone's work, improving productivity, quality, and working conditions, and all with no need for new equipment. Japan's Kaizen approach is winning followers around the world.
So with the video, I hope you all managed to gain some new knowledge as to how this continuous improvement approach helps organizations to improve productivity and improve their businesses and their processes as a whole, and improve cost and bring in cost optimization. We are now almost coming to the end of this presentation. Before I end this, I would like to touch key few areas that would help you to carry this knowledge forward. Now, in this webinar, with the content I presented, we can see that addressing and solving common causes of low productivity without focusing on real waste elimination brings in only short-term and non-sustainable productivity improvements for organizations. And it's challenging to deploy as well because it requires greater stakeholder buy-in and cultural changes as well. So you need some kind of a philosophy that runs across the entire organization and where everybody gets aligned into a one stream. So the best approach is to embark on waste elimination based, structured and scientific way of improving productivity in order to achieve sustainable results. And organizations that have chosen this path or these philosophies or methodologies have successfully implemented various continuous improvement programs across their organizations and have achieved significant productivity improvements and have achieved financial gains and have become market leaders. So this is what you can, this is a learning that you can carry forward and apply for the areas where you all are currently involved with. So with this, I end my presentation, and then with that, we can open this forum for a Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions or concerns, you can raise questions, and then I will try my best to answer and clarify those points.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Samadhi, resource person. And actually, we had done a very fruitful workshop, and you mentioned based some theoretical background as well as in practice in the manufacturing industry and some kind of business oriented method regarding the elimination of waste. But as a university, we face some kind of difficulties, challenges regarding eliminate waste. Then basically in some area regard the waste of computer materials, some kind of furniture, and some our answer script, because there is some kind of legal background when we eliminate some document and books We can't take a decision quickly to eliminate as a waste because regard the legal background. Then, as an expert in this field, can you give the advice based on today your discussion? What kind of method to suitable to the university system, especially in our university? Maybe that is my question.
Yeah, okay. That sounds a good question, and it's a valid question since when we look at uh, uh, your institute, University of Brunei, you all are a service provider. You all don't have a manufacturing operation. Uh, in the presentation, at couple of points, I mentioned that the methodologies or the philosophies I I talked about, those are equally applicable for service sectors as well, for service oriented organizations as well. Uh, so with that, the uh, where you can start uh, deploying this continuous improvement approaches, you can simply start with the Kaizen methodology, where you look at small fixes, elimination of elements, and improve uh, processes, operations uh, uh, rapidly. So that's where you all can start to uh, work. Then at the same time, you all can work on with the progression of the Kaizen deployment. You all can bring in the deployment of lean methodology as well. So the Kaizen together with the lean concept, you can as well as the 5S concept, you can start on this journey.
Yes, in our university administrative office, basically they practice 5S method. Then,
Okay.
what are the differences and advantages? You mentioned 5S method and Pearson method that now you suggest that is the Pearson method. I think it is a new one to our university. Then what are the uh, method?
As I Yeah, as I mentioned in my presentation, 5S tool or the concept, it's a supportive tool for these three philosophy or the methodologies, especially for Kaizen deployment, right? Kaizen works uh, hand in hand with the 5S concept.
Then there are relationships together, no?
Yeah,
The
there's a
5S.
close relationship between the Kaizen methodology and the 5S concept.
Okay. Then
So
our
since you all have already started on this 5S concept, it's easy to uh, go along the path of the Kaizen journey.
mm, then our professor Mahindra Tapar, director Quality Assurance Center, asks he think that learn is the best way for our university.
Lean
What do
approach.
you comment?
No, no, I
Lean,
just
lean,
lean approach. I mean, just my
Lean.
personal
lean
So sorry,
methodology.
lean methodology. Yes.
it's my personal opinion.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you can start with the Kaizen methodology. You can, it's a uh, it's a journey where you have to start first with the Kaizen, and then you can step on to the lean methodology, lean deployment, and then with the success of Kaizen and lean deployment, you can then probably look at Six Sigma approach Six Sigma methodology as well to reduce process variations and reduce defects, reduce rework. So that's how these three methodologies function. That's how you have to deploy these methodologies. Each of these methodologies have their own use and application.
Can you hear me? Dr. Samad, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Samad, do you have any experience with higher education system where you have adapted this productivity improvement concepts and this philosophy, or any experience or any aware of that kind of?
Sorry, Professor
Do you
Mahinda.
are you do you are you having any experience regarding the use of this productivity improvement philosophy of procedures in the case of higher education systems or higher education institutes? If so,
Actually, continuous improvement, conducting continuous improvement programs for organizations. That's my key involvement uh, uh, in terms of all my involvement, and mostly all this time I have deployed these methodologies, deployed these continuous improvement programs across manufacturing
yeah,
organizations. Now, in these manufacturing organizations, we come across both uh, the manufacturing stream and services stream as well. So with my exposure into both the streams, uh, we can simply adopt those concepts to uh, organizations that provide education related services as well.
yeah, no specific examples regarding higher education institutes up to now.
Uh, we have not specifically
Uh,
implemented anything on the higher education side, but higher education that also falls into the stream of services.
services.
So, uh, so I have experience exposure into both the streams of manufacturing and services. So that learning can be effectively deployed for higher education as well, because there's not much of a difference. We deal with more or less the same things when it comes to uh, the services and manufacturing streams. Only the end product is different.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to comment on that. Actually, your presentation, we learned something that manufacturing industry has have their financial plan to reduction of the waste, and they work on that. Then, as a outcome of this workshop, I think Professor Mahinda, we need to make some kind of plan to uh, our concept paper regarding the waste elimination of the based on our system. Then we need to adapt that system, which I think basically uh, it is a very rarely practice in our higher education system sometimes, because uh, not only higher education, make a service sector that we need to be considered as wholly in the our quality assurance aspect at the our quality assurance center. That is the my idea regard that.
Dr. Samadhi,
Yeah.
my question is, how do you see quality enhancement and productivity enhancement? Is it the same concept or there are two different things?
When the quality is low, when you have poor quality, that affects productivity as well. That is the relationship between the quality and productivity. It brings down, the quality gets affected by waste, and then the quality affects your productive output. The decline in your productive output directly affects your productivity. So both the quality and productivity go hand in hand.
Yes, actually, for this workshop, our registrar, Ms. Senani Kalugama, also participated. I think that asked that question. Thank you for that question.
Yeah. Was it clear to you?
So actually, the our university side, you can ask question regarding the how implement this method to our university, because now we certainly practice 5 years method. Then what kind of help need to university from this side? Then we can make some further collaboration.
Yeah,
So I have a question.
throughout this webinar, actually we realized that we have already implemented 5S technique, and it is a supportive tool for achievement of Kaizen, Lean, and Six Sigma.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we have to think about these three pillars enhancement of this university, especially in administrative processes. Thank you.
Then what are the challenges of we faced in the university to regard up to now? That point will be useful in 5 years system. Also, if we face challenges in some point regarding the waste eliminate, then we can get opinion of our resource person.
So I'm Kapila, Chief Technical Officer, University of Tuhuna. I have a question. Actually, as you mentioned about 7 waste, I think the excess inventory is a problem. Therefore, I suggest to do a verification in each department, and we have to prepare a database. Then we can realize all the chemicals in our hand. Otherwise, most of the researchers get some grants, and they are purchasing more, and then we can reduce the excess inventory by preparing a common database and common inventory. Then we can realize where the chemicals, excess chemicals in our university. Thank you, sir.
That's a good suggestion, Kapila. But first, we'll have to look at what is required by the end customer. And you may be having your end customer, and you have your internal customers as well. So you have to look at in a systematic manner as to who your customers are and what their expectations are. So with that, you have to bring in even flow of services or information or products within your business processes.
Okay, maybe you have some other uh, question or verification. The Professor Atapato mentioned that we need to identify the waste at as a smaller unit level, and then we can make some adjustment. Okay, something like that.
Yeah, actually, Professor, when you go uh, on the journey of continuous improvement, uh, you get to see, you get to identify uh, various uh, elements of waste you come across with various operations and business processes and uh, for the company as a for the organization as a whole. So that's going to be the starting point uh, of any of these uh, continuous improvement philosophies.
Yes, then we can make assess what are the our waste
Yeah, you
generated
have
in
to
the
identify
yeah,
non-value
yeah,
adding activities,
yeah.
other waste elements. So with that, uh, you can in a systematic manner, scientific manner, as to how to reduce them, how to eliminate them.
Yeah, maybe as outcome of this workshop, we can make some small assessment what are the waste generated in our university system, and based on that survey, we can make some small program on that. Therefore, we will keep in that mind, and
Yeah,
yes.
you are absolutely correct. I think that has to be the correct approach, the most appropriate approach uh, to get into the problems you face in your organization.
Okay, thank you. Then actually, I want to mention that I am not the expert on this field. Therefore, actually, I am just a coordinator. Then I will contact our quality assurance director and make a program, and also I will get opinion of the you also. I very much appreciate about your presentation today and discussion because we know the it is not a very just simple matter regarding you talk today because it is has a lot of scenario behind that. Therefore, we would like to take it consider and practice in the university under the quality assurance matter. Then basically I would like to appreciate you, and also I would like to appreciate all our participant including our registrar uh, as well as director quality assurance center of the University of Pune and other executive administrative officers, academic staffs, and also other participation participants on this program. Also, I would like to appreciate stars, especially Mr. Piyanta, and also Professor Engineer Ramesh Jayavira of the University of Moradua. He is the chairman of the this component, and he agreed and approved this program. Therefore, I think we can do something about and we can think about this matter and make a concept paper. And as earlier we mentioned that this is the initial program. There are various aspects of the various aspects to maintain the quality, then we will consider that matter. And we, on behalf of the University of Pune as well as Center for the Quality Assurance, I finally appreciate, thanks Dr. Samadhi Vitanage as well as SLAS. So this is the end of this program. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thank you, Professor Hemakumara, for your appreciation and also inviting me for this webinar. Uh, And as you mentioned, we can have a separate discussion to look at the problems which you all have addressed today, and to improve your um, organization in terms of deploying these continuous improvement philosophy approach for your organization. So finally, I hope all the participants have gained some new knowledge that would broaden your horizons. So thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.